Good morning.
Welcome to Celebration Circle, live online.
We're grateful that you're here with us today. And we want to welcome our guest, musician Bill Nash.
Bill,
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Bill.
Hey.
Joining us from Colorado today?
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
I'm in Taos right now. So
Oh, lucky you.
yeah, it's not bad.
We just our son spent Thanksgiving Day in Taos, and he sent us photographs of their hike, and there was snow, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. It is beautiful right now. It's a little cold in the night times, but we're getting up to 45 in the day, so it's pretty comfortable.
Nice. Yeah. He lives in Albuquerque and regularly taunts us with weather reports from the great weather you guys have there in the high plains.
And yeah, it's a little different, isn't it?
It is. And I think too that we get spoiled here because today the high is 66 and we think that's cold.
It's funny. I used to feel that way too about Texas, but it's funny when it's 30 degrees here, it feels like 50.
Yeah, it's dry.
It's got to be the dry, and it's just so easy to feel comfortable. Get on a light jacket and you're gone. It's pretty nice.
Well, we're glad that you're with us wherever you are, and wherever you are on screen. You're in for a treat hearing the songs of Bill Nash played wonderfully. And we hope that our songs, our poems, our prayers, and our silences support you in your path of spirit.
And so we hope you'll join us now with our opening song, Come Celebrate. And we'll see you back here in a moment, Bill.
Okay, thanks.
Come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate. One by one, come celebrate. Now and forever, let us remember we are one. Come celebrate, join in a circle, come celebrate. Side by side, come celebrate. Now and forever, let us remember we are one. Celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, yes, celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, heart open wide, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. We are one. We are one.
Breathing into that celebration, we invite you now to join us in our invocation and our time of honoring the four directions, honoring Mother Earth, this place that, we are so blessed to call home. This morning on our walk, we saw hundreds of red-breasted robins migrating here through South Texas along the river. And after the rains yesterday, the waters and the flood lines and the herons and the geese and the cormorants, it was just beautiful. We're so blessed to walk upon this earth. So we'll begin with our invocation. O Great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. And we'll sing that once for each of the four directions as we honor Mother Earth. Then we'll sing it a fifth time for that divine within each one of us. So we'll begin by turning to the east, the direction of the rising sun, of new beginnings, of the infinite possibilities. So together, as we're able to turn and face to the east.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Then we we turn and face to the south, the direction of the noonday sun, the abundance and the well-being available to us all.
Oh, Great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
We now turn to the west, to the opening, to the direction of the setting sun, of letting go of the past, of opening to the mystery of what comes next.
Oh, Great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
And then we face into the north, the direction of midnight, of the darkness and challenges that are always present, that are always calling us to stand firm in this present moment.
Oh, Great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
And then finally, we turn within. We turn to the realm of spirit, to the infinite now, unfolding within and around us.
Oh, Great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Oh, Holy One, Holy Mystery, we honor, we nurture the sacred in ourselves, each other, and all of creation. So we gather with the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds and the winged ones, the ones that swim and crawl and fly with the rocks and the trees, the grasses, the seas, the skies, the stars, the oceans, with the universe, with all of life. We affirm our oneness. We affirm we are one. Together, we are one. And once again, we are one. And for this opportunity to be together in community, to give thanks with grateful hearts for this and so much more, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
And into this space of open hearts, we welcome a wonderfully open-hearted, gifted singer, songwriter, guitarist, a good friend, Bill Nash.
Hi. I didn't know what you were going to say a little something before this, but I'm going to say a little bit about myself because I'm in my 32nd year with multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed when I was 31 years old, and I've had to do some pretty amazing things with the guitar to be able to play as well as I do. I played the guitar for 45 years, so my body, my fingers know where to go. I just don't really have a feel sometimes, and I'm strong because of my guitar playing too. Anyway, I'd like to play this first song for you. This is called Come Home. This song is originally, I actually have two versions of this song on my recordings, on my CDs. One of them was originally a Christmas song for my family. We every year at Christmas time, I would have to play this song for everybody. And a couple of years down the road, a friend of mine said that could be you could rewrite that a little bit, and it could be the perfect Kerrville anthem for the Kerrville Folk Festival. And so I did eventually, and they came out to be this. This is called Come Home. The wind is whispering and the sky is clear. Stars are littering the ground. Friends and neighbors, they're all gathered here. Look at all the love we've found. These are times that make our lives worthwhile, spreading love and wishing peace, for hopes and dreams of what our loved ones see, hoping all their dreams will keep. Come home to a fire that's always warm. Come home to shelter from the storm. Come home to hugs and kisses sweet. Come home to this place of love we meet. Missing friends of ours who are not here. Some have passed and some have gone. Wishing one more chance to whisper love, one more chance to sing this song. Memories have a way of circling you, reminding of good times long past. Feeling love and kindness here and now, trying to make these feelings last. Come home to a fire that's always warm. Come home to shelter from the storm. Come home to smiling faces sweet. Come home to this place of love we meet. Come home to a love that's all around. Come home to a place of higher ground. Come home to hugs and kisses sweet. Come home to this place of love we meet. The wind is whispering and the sky is clear. Stars are littering the ground. Friends and neighbors, you're all gathered here. Look at all the love we found. We all know we're homeward bound. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Thanks so much, Bill.
wonderful.
More to come from Bill Nash in just a few minutes.
So today's poem is by Rosemary Watola Trommer, and the title is One Morning. One morning, we will wake up and forget to build the wall we've been building, the one between us, the one we've been building for years. perhaps out of some sense of right and boundary, perhaps out of habit. One morning, we will wake up and let our empty hands hang empty at our sides. Perhaps they will rise, as empty things sometimes do when blown by the wind. Perhaps they simply will not remember how to grasp, how to rage. We will wake up that morning and we will have misplaced all our theories about why and how and who did what to whom. We will have mislaid all our timelines of when and plans of what, and we will not scramble to write the plans and theories anew. On that morning, not much else will have changed. Whatever is blooming will still be in bloom. Whatever is wilting will wilt. There will be fields to plow and trains to load and children to feed and work to do. And in every moment, in every action, we will feel the urge to say, thank you. Thank you. We will follow the urge to bow.
And in the spirit of that poem, we invite you to join us in a time of communion. In the old days, we would have passed a basket of communion bread. But here online on Sundays, we're inviting you to join us in a communion breath, to feel literally that we're all breathing the same air. So as Seth leads this process, won't you join us in simply being present with this miracle of breath, of life.
And together we will inhale as we ingest the air. We'll exhale and release all that is past. And we'll do this together 4 times, inhaling on the sound of the bowl ringing. Inhale. And exhale. Again. And finally. Truly, we are one.
And from this place of oneness, we open our hearts again to Bill Nash.
I wanted to say a little something about gratitude. One of the things that happened to me back in 1988 when I was diagnosed with MS, my dog, hey Susie, the dog is on the couch. Gee whiz, this live TV, man. When you have a diagnosis like multiple sclerosis, you have to live with what you have to do, and you have to freak out about everything that you're going to possibly have to do in the future. And after a little bit of time, after some of the stages of grief going through, I realized that I was starting to feel like I was accepting where I was. And one of the things that happened to me is that I had a voice in my head say, Bill, you better start getting urgent about things. And that's when everything happened for me musically. The cool thing about this is that this is MS also. It just took my words away. After in circumstances like mine, I am not in a pain. I'm with my MS. It's been a blessing. All these things I'm very grateful for. MS has left me to be able to still do what I do. And I just wanted to say that because I feel like I'm a radical gratitude kind of person. I'm going to play this song by Peter Mayer. It's called, I'm sure you guys have heard it before, Holy Now. When I was a boy each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad, miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even bigger magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. Holy water was rare at best, barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand-me-downs. Now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird, shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Made me want to feel once more the way I did when church let out. How things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Tonight I looked into space, back towards the start of time. It made me feel a sense of grace, more than making water wine. Knowing how I'm part of this, learning what it really took, makes me feel a reverence I never cut from a bull. It used to be a world half there, having second-rate hand-me-downs. Now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Ooh, ooh. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. One of the things that Bill didn't specifically say, but I learned, I'd known Bill for, we've seen him at Kerrville for, I bet 20 years, and we see each other each time, but I got to be his roommate at a convention last year for a few days, and got to know his situation a little better, and I hadn't realized that he had lost ability to play with his fingers of his left hand. They just didn't have strength to make bar chords anymore, which are fundamental to folk guitarists. And he only has 2 strong fingers left in his hand. And so he's learned over the years to compensate by using multiple cut capos, these things put on the neck of the guitar, and learned increasingly intricate tunings and really pioneered the use of multiple cut capos. He's one of the people who in the country who's helped make that a thing, and he teaches workshops. So he's turned what was a seeming handicap or limitation into a real strength through his willingness to use what he's got left and to focus on, which is sort of like what happened with my friend Tom Barabbas. Back in the 1980s, I had the good fortune to work and study with author and personal growth teacher Arnold Patton. And Arnold was giving lectures and workshops in dozens of cities across the country, and he always had live music at each of his events. And he invited me to join that team of musicians that would travel all these cities supporting the process.
Friend Tom Barabbas.
Uh-oh. And one day I was in Detroit with Arnold Patton, and he was invited to come speak in a maximum security prison there. And I went with him, as did Tom Barabbas, who was the pianist. And it was definitely one of the most interesting gigs of my career, because there were 30 people in the room, and all of them were serving life or maximum jail sentences for violent crimes. And we were a little apprehensive going into it, but it turned out to be one of the most rapt audiences we'd ever had, because these men had time to think about life and had come to this event because they wanted to think about life together. Anyway, after I sang a couple tunes and Arnold spoke for a while, it was Tom's turn to play the piano. Now, Tom was a classically trained Hungarian-born genius. He was a brilliant musician, could improvise incredibly well, one of the wildest, most talented, fascinating people I ever met. And his death last year of a sudden stroke was a real loss to me and to the world. But on that day in 1987, Tom was at the height of his creative powers and the height of his career. And that's a good thing, because when he sat down to play at that piano in the prison chapel, it sounded awful. It was horribly out of tune. It was grim. And I got a little anxious, and I could feel everybody else in the room too was kind of getting unsettled, but it didn't faze Tom. He just got real quiet and real focused, and everybody in the room could feel the power of his intention. He was going to play at this piano. So what he did is he just ran his fingers up and down the keyboard, slowly, then got back to center and concentrated, and then started playing a few notes and a few more and a few more, and he wove this haunting melody. And I knew Tom's work well enough to know that he was improvising, and it was just an exquisite tune. coming out. And as the song picked up tempo, he picked up a few more notes. It became this amazing up-tempo anthem. It ended on this big rollicking note. And we all gave him a rousing standing ovation. And that was the end of the event, because there was no way anybody was going to follow that. Later that night at dinner, I asked Tom how the heck he'd managed to do that on a piano that was so completely out of tune. And he said, well, first I just stopped and found the keys on the piano that were in tune, kind of memorized them and used them. And then every once in a while I'd play a note that wasn't in tune, but just enough to color things, and repeat it a couple of times. But mostly I just focused on the notes that were in tune and acknowledged, but ignored the ones that weren't. I tell the story as a way of pointing toward the power of focusing on our blessings while facing and embracing the challenges of our life simultaneously, which is a process that lies at the heart of what I call radical gratitude, which for me is the process and practice of being grateful for whatever is present in my life as an embodied physical experience of metaphysical principles. That's a mouthful, so let me just repeat that. Radical gratitude is a process and practice of being grateful for whatever is present in my life as an embodied physical experience of metaphysical principles. Now, if you Google the term radical gratitude, you'll find a number of different authors with variations and approaches to the subject. And I'm not saying that what I'm about to talk about is the right way or the only way, but it's the way I've learned over the years, and it's worked for me and for a number of other folks. And so I'm inviting you to consider it. And begin by pointing out that radical comes from the Latin word radix, meaning root. So radical means growing from the root or connected to the earth. So in one sense, radical gratitude is an attitude of gratitude that is an embodied physical experience that is grounded in the moment, grounded in my body, as well as being grounded in the understanding of metaphysical principles, such as the fundamental oneness of all life and the interconnection of seemingly separate objects. Let me take a few moments to do a little thought experiment with you. I invite you to take a breath or two and think of 5 or 6 things that you're grateful in your life. Let it be easy. Don't overthink it. Just let the first thought be the best thought. Just list 5 or 6 or 7 things that you're grateful in your life. People, circumstances. Now, my list off the top of my head includes my good pal, wife Zet, our beautiful home, our 2 amazing children, Sara and Mateo, health, cars that are paid for. My list go on and on, but that's kind of what pops up at the top of my list. Your gratitude list might be similar, it might be different, but the chances are good that for both of us, at this point, they're just a mental exercise, something that exists largely in our head. I'm grateful for Zet, my house, the kids, and the harmony. And that's fine, but radical gratitude invites us to move beyond the level of mental awareness and into the full-bodied experience of the thoughts and emotions that lie behind our mental constructs. For instance, I can think and say, I'm grateful for Zet's presence in my life. Nice. But radical gratitude asks me to do more. It asks me to ground the awareness of the blessing of Zet's presence in my physical body, in my heart, in my chest and arms and belly and legs, and all the way down to my feet, from the top of my head to the tip of the toes. Really feel the goodness and the gratitude as an embodied physical experience in a heart-centered, earth-tethered reality. A heart-centered, earth-tethered, full-body experience of gratitude. And the same holds true for the other things on my list, for the house and the garden, for our children, for the car. And seen through the eyes of radical gratitude, these things and people aren't separate from me. They are intimately connected to me. I didn't create them, I didn't make them, I didn't deserve them, but they are in my life as an embodied blessing to the moment that I really take them in and own them without being proud of them or attached to them, because fact of the matter is, sooner or later, they all must leave my life. Everything must pass. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same, says the old pop song. But that's another talk for another time. For now, I'd like to take a moment to practice this process of radical gratitude together for a few minutes. So again, just start by relaxing and take a breath, then bring into mind one of the people or circumstances you just listed that you're grateful for. Several might come to mind, but for the purposes of exercise, just focus on one. Got it? Now, feel the emotions connected to that person or circumstances. For example, let's say, like me, you're thankful for your beautiful home, for the comfortable place to be. So you can think the thought, I'm grateful for my house, but I'm asking you to feel the emotions connected to that house, the feeling of comfort, the feeling of security, the feeling of relaxing into this place of safety and warmth. The emotions beneath the thought. And the next step is to feel the feeling beneath the emotion. Because an emotion, by definition, is a feeling with a thought attached to it. A feeling of, an emotion of gratitude means I'm feeling the energy, but I've attached a thought, house and security and comfort. Well, it's all well and good. But in this next step, I'm invited to feel the feeling underneath my emotion, underneath my thoughts of gratitude, and feel the pure feeling, the pure energy, what I would call love. Some would call chi or the Tao or God, infinite intelligence. But this embodied experience of being present with the energy underneath the thought of gratitude, underneath the emotion of comfort, joy, peace, ease, connected with this beautiful thing called my home, and then on to underneath to the feeling, the pure energy flowing through my body, my heart, my chest, my arms, my legs, down to my feet. Heart-centered, physically embodied, earth-tethered sensation. And now from this place, just feel your connection to your home, to your deepest self, to all of creation. Feel that it's all one thing. Your house, your body, your car, your children, all are made of one stuff. Feeling this oneness. Let go all physical and focus on that which is metaphysical, beyond the feeling. beyond the physical, which is simply one. Feels good, right? Wonderful. And with practice, this process can happen relatively quickly. I've been doing this for a number of years, and I can do it in a matter of seconds when I'm focused and aware on a good day. All right. And, however, also, but radical gratitude invites us to embrace not just the joyful blessings that bring us happy feelings of love and comfort, but also to embrace those things that are more difficult, those challenges and challengers that inevitably arise in each of our lives. It's infinitely more difficult at one level, but also important and powerful to embrace the challengers and challenges, the seeming enemies, with the same gratitude, radical, embodied, grounded gratitude as those joyful blessings. And the good news is that as we flex this muscle of radical gratitude, we become increasingly capable of holding the dynamic tension of opposites in our lives, the joy and the sorrow, the faith and confusion, the dreams and the nightmares. As we expand our capacity for gratitude, we are more able to accept, face, and embrace our challengers and challenges, which can turn out to become blessings and soul friends, as, for instance, with Bill Nash's very real challenges caused by MS. I'm sure that it was not a joyful thing for him to get his initial diagnosis, and he had many struggles. He's had many struggles. But he's also been able to learn to play guitar in a way with the capos that's very magical, and that's led him to teach workshops and teach scores of other guitarists this thing that could only have come out of his limitations, out of facing them and working them rather than denying them or surrendering in the face of radical gratitude. Possibly the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life is also proven to be the best thing that happened to me. When I gave in to my addictions and hit bottom last March and had to resign from the circle in shame and sadness, and my marriage was affected, my livelihood was threatened, hurt many people's feelings, and it was awful. But also by learning to face and embrace those shame and the shadows, to work with my addictions rather than denying them, through Zet's love, the support of many wonderful friends, and the 12-step recovery process, and the grace of God, I learned to embrace my shadows with radical gratitude and receive a deep peace and rich blessings that I can't begin to describe and couldn't have come any other way. That's a very personal example, specific to me, but another personal example that's almost certainly facing you and everyone in our culture is the pandemic. COVID has brought social isolation and disruption, and economic changes have been unleashed. And more than anything, it's created a fear of the unknown that's kind of in the background of everyone's everything every day these days. No one can make plans for next year or plan concerts or make work projections because we just don't know, and the COVID cloud hanging over us, right? So we can take a few minutes to practice also with radical gratitude and the COVID-19 challenge, to really face and embrace it. Let's just do this together, to find one thing about the COVID challenge, not just the big overall disruptive cloud monster thing that's been hanging over our culture for 8 months and counting, but one aspect of it. Relax, take a breath or two, and just be aware of the economic challenge or the disruption it's brought to your family, or maybe even the death of a loved one. And feel that, bring it into mind. And then, rather than resisting it, just open and embrace it with radical gratitude. Feel the emotions, the fear, the sorrow, the anger, perhaps. And as fully as possible, let go of your judgments, your thoughts about COVID and about this particular challenge, and feel the energy, the sheer feeling beneath the emotion, separate from your thoughts and your judgments. There is just the free flow of energy, of love, of God, Spirit. And underneath that, letting go of even that feeling, that awareness of the flow, just feel your oneness with all of life. Let go and trust, know that only good will come of your willingness to rest in this place. And then bring your attention back to this moment. Now, did you just fix COVID? No, of course not. Did you fix the problem in your life regarding COVID? Probably not. But have you shifted the energy around it? Yes. And as we learn to practice radical gratitude, to focus on what we have, the joys and the challenges, rather than focusing on what we don't have, but just feel the pure feelings underneath the emotions and judgments that we challenge, that we attach to the joys and the challenges in our lives. Just feel the pure feeling of connection, of oneness. We become more affluent, more abundant. Affluent coming from the Latin word affluens, meaning to flow abundantly, which is exactly what happens as we learn to face our challenges without resistance, to face our blessings without needing to hold on to and cling to them. As you see, I'm passionate about the process, and there's a lot more I could say about it. But for now, let me end by saying that while not all of us can be as skillful as Bill Nash is with guitar, not all of us are master piano players like Tom Barabbas was. But we're all invited to sit down at the keyboard of our lives, to find our own unique way to practice feeling grateful for whatever is in our lives, our joys and sorrows, our faith and confusion. And there just become ever more peaceful, affluent, grateful, loving beings. At least that's my hope. That's my story. But I'm sticking to it. And from that place, I invite you to join me in singing this song that I wrote many years ago when I first was introduced to the concept of radical gratitude. We've sung many times in the circle. In all things, give thanks. In all things, give thanks. In all things, give thanks. Thanks, thanks. In all things, give thanks. In all things, give thanks. In all things, give thanks. Thanks, thanks. In all things, give thanks.
So we take a moment to get calm and centered. To again, just take a breath and feel something in your life that you're grateful for. Maybe it is something you've been with a long time, or maybe it's a brand new something in your awareness. And take a moment to anchor it and locate the feeling in your body. And now bring your awareness to your breath, to your inhale and your exhale. Feeling how each breath, each inhale, each exhale gives you life. And be aware of your heart beating, pulsing, filling with love and compassion and peace, and flowing back out. Now allow your awareness to dwell on your eyes, whether they are open or closed in this moment. Be grateful for the way they enable you to see colors, faces, smiles, nature, the sunrise, the sunset, the rainbow, the moon, the stars, yourself in a mirror. Move your attention now, tuned into the sounds surrounding you, to the music of the flute, to my voice, to the airplane overhead, to the laughter, to silence. All the beautiful sounds we hear day in and day out. Bring your awareness to your nose, which can smell the autumn breeze, the advancing rain, the flowers, the leafy green trees, the wafting smells of coffee, lunch being cooked. Now focus your attention on your lips and your mouth, your tongue. Feel too the power of words spoken and songs sung with this mouth. Say nothing of the delicious meals that have passed here, the kisses shared. Bring your awareness now to your hands that hold, that touch, that caress, to your arms and your shoulders that carry, that hug, that lift and that stretch. And now focus on your legs and your feet that have carried you every step of the way along this amazing journey. Your feet are your hands that touch the earth. Feel the power to wiggle your toes. This amazing network of neurons and nerves running from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And if we're able to feel each cell working precisely in concert with all the other parts of the body to make this miraculous movement of fingers and toes and arms and legs possible, to walk, to run, to dance, to kick, to lie down, to rise up again and again. And what about your tears, your sorrows? These too are gifts that somehow bring you the strength to make it through each day. Whatever challenges have come, and certainly they will come, these gifts allow you to bring forth that strength. And now bring your awareness to your ever-growing, ever-evolving consciousness, your expansion, your evolution, your perspective shifts, this growing sense of abundance, and your ability to see growth and potential in each and every moment. Feel yourself surrounded by that consciousness, by the love in this room, by the love flowing through cyberspace, from heart to heart, connecting each and every one of us. Feel yourself surrounded by the many relationships in your life, the new ones and the old ones, and feel your connection to those people, those places, the circumstances that are sweet and loving, and feel right and good and fully present now. And just rest and bathe in it all. Feel gratitude inside and all around you. Now. And now. And now. And as we do this, we also feel our connection to our feet on the floor as we gently open our eyes, as we gently open to this space around us. May all beings be blessed by our willingness to take this time to remember and to reflect on gratitude. And so it is. Let's join together singing In All Things Give Thanks.
In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. Thanks, thanks. In all things give thanks. Give thanks for the gifts of life. The one light shines through all of creation with hands and hearts open wide. We lift our voices in celebration. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. Thanks, thanks. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. In all things things give thanks.
So thank you. We take this time to lift up our offerings, or place them into the offering basket, the gifts of financial support for the Celebration Circle. We also lift up the names and the situations in the prayer box. Support. We hold each and every one of those individuals and circumstances up into the light, to the love, trusting that all is well and all shall be well in all manner of things. And there are several ways you can support the circle financially: with website, PayPal, Venmo, you choose. But we're grateful for your gifts in whatever form they come in. You can mail a check too. And I just want to let you know that Tuesday we will be kicking off our year-end campaign, which is our annual fundraiser. Our goal is to raise $10,000 by the end of the year. And so we're counting on you to be a part of that. And you can contact us about how to do that. You should be getting a card in the mail with a special little gift from us for sticking around during this time. I want to thank Rudi and Bill for being part of this morning's Sunday Circle. And just a reminder that Angel Santiago will be leading Wednesday night meditation circle from 7:30 to 8 Central Time, and focusing on his unique evolution of spirit. And then next Sunday, I will be speaking on perception and how we see through ego or spirit, and the many lessons in life that we can learn about that, how to use these and this together. And we'll also have Young and Rusty. Sue Young and her partner, Rusty Nelson, are going to be sharing their perfect blend of music and lyrics. And it'll be a great Sunday, and we hope you'll join us for that. Anything else?
Remember what a beautiful day this is, and what an amazing life you've been gifted with throughout this day and every day in the coming week. Remember, life's good.
Life is good.
We are
We're
blessed.
grateful.
Be
And
grateful.
so we're going to bring back Bill Nash for another song. This one, Gentle Arms of Eden by Dave Carter. And we're grateful again for Bill's presence here with us.
Glad to be here with you. I'd like to tell you a little story about this song. I won't be too long. It's a very short story. Thanks, by the way, thanks Rudi and Zet for having me play this. It was great fun. I wanted to tell you about how this song was birthed, because I was in the room the day it was birthed. Tom Noe, my friend from Wiley, Texas, used to have a house concert series there, and Dave and Tracy, Dave Carter and Tracy Grammer, his partner, played there 3 times, and one of those times every morning after the show, I'd spend the night every night, because it's great. I love them, and I love them to be with them. But Tom would have the greatest brunch in the morning, and some of the best food you've ever had. And so we got to the part where we were eating the brunch, we finished it, and then Tom and Dave are sitting on 2 separate places right next to each other. And they started talking about philosophy. And the funny thing is, Tom Noe was a proselytizing atheist, and Dave Carter was this shaman of magical mystery that they started going at it, and back and forth and back and forth. It was amazing to watch. There was 5 or 6 of us there watching this happen. About 6 weeks later, Dave Carter called Tom Noe on the phone and said, "Tom, you're not going to believe it, but I wrote a song about that whole thing we had that day at the brunch, and this is the song." So I actually got to see this. Talk about a blessing, talk about gratitude. I am so grateful that I was in the room that day. This is called Gentle Arms of Eden. On a sleepy, endless ocean where the world lay in a dream, there was rhythm in the splash and roll, but not a voice to sing. And the moon fell on the breakers, and the morning warmed the waves, and a single cell did jump and hum with joy as though to say, this is my home, this is my only home. This is the only sacred ground I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then the day shone bright and round her, till the one turned into two, and the two into 10,000 things, and old things into new. And on some virgin beachheads one lonesome critter crawled, and he looked about and he shouted out in his most astonished drawl, this is my home, this is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then all the sky was buzzing, and the ground was carpet green, and the weary children of the wood went dancing in between. And all the people sang rejoicing when the field was glad with grain, and the song of celebration from their cities on the plain. This is my home, this is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Now there's smoke across the harbor, and the factories on the shore, and the world is ill with greed and will and enterprise of war. But I will lay my burden in the cradle of your grace, and the shining beaches of your love, and the sea of your embrace. This is my home, this is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Thank you. Put my headphones back on.
Thank you.
Good to have you here, Bill. Thanks for being here this morning.
My
You're
pleasure,
great.
buddy.
Yeah. And so we just take a moment to lift up the offerings, the prayers, names in the prayer circle, supporting the work of the circle and the individuals and situations in it. And for this, we're grateful. So we're going to invite you now to sing in our closing circle. Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Watch our circle grow.
Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow. Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow.
So we join our hands together across time and space for this opportunity. We say thank you. And remember that we love you. We bless you. We see the light in you. Go in peace. And thank you so much for being with us, Bill.
My pleasure, truly.
What a gift.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll do it again.
I'd love to.
And
Anytime.
May your move be smooth and easy.
That's what I'm counting on. That's about all I got now. Get that done.
There you go.
yeah.
Goodbye for now.
Hello
Thanks,
forever.
buddy. Take care. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye. So we want to thank you, and we'll see you next week right here, live, Celebration Circle.